Do you have trouble understanding the timing of the On2 basic salsa stepping pattern? Does it seem awkward and a whole lot more complicated than dancing on one? Well, if so, you're not the only one. So how can you become more comfortable with the timing of the On2 basic salsa step? What is the secret? Well, in this video, we'll learn some simple keys that can really unlock the mystery of On2 timing. But first, welcome to Salsa Goals, where we break down salsa music and dance concepts so that you can build up a firm foundation on the dance floor. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be kept up to date on all the latest videos from Salsa Goals. Now remember that the main steps of the On2 salsa basic stepping pattern are the long steps that we take either to the front or to the back on beats 2 and 6. In fact, we'll refer to those steps as the outside steps of the pattern, and then when we return those outside steps back to the center, we can call those the middle steps. But as we saw in the last video, the exact timing of those middle steps can vary for On2 dancers. So what's the secret to mastering the basics of On2 footwork timing? Well, some try to count out the number of each step when dancing, but that's not necessarily the secret. In fact, constantly counting like that could actually sabotage your progress and even cause your steps to become mechanical, like a robot. So instead of counting out the number of each step in your mind, it might be better to let the percussion instruments count for you. Therefore, let's take a look at 4 keys that can help you to easily unlock the secrets of On2 footwork timing, starting with key number 1. Learn the conga tumbao rhythm. Salsa music is polyrhythmic, meaning that many rhythmic patterns are all being played at the same time, one on top of the other, just like the layers of a cake. But one of the main rhythmic patterns is that of the conga tumbao, which sounds like this. The conga tumbao pattern is a great point of reference for On2 dancers because it can guide your steps, kind of like a compass. Notice that the loudest beats of the conga tumbao are the slap on beat number 2 and beat number 6, as well as the double high open tones on beat number 4 and beat number 8, which sound like this. Pa, kum kum, pa, kum kum, pa, kum kum, pa, kum kum. So here's the second key for unlocking On2 timing. Key number 2, use the slap. Those slap sounds of the conga on beats 2 and 6 will tell you when to take your outside steps or your break steps. So once you learn to anticipate that slap of the conga, those outside steps will become easy. And remember that whenever you dance On2, your outside steps will always be on beats 2 and 6. However, that leads us to the third key for unlocking the secrets of On2 footwork timing, and the key that can really take things to the next level. Key number 3, work the middle. While those outside steps on beats 2 and 6 never change for On2 dancers, those middle steps are a different story. And in our last video, we broke down 3 timing variations of the On2 salsa basic stepping pattern. Those 3 variations are 1. The power 2 step, 2. The syncopated 2 step, and 3. The New York 2 or the Eddie Torres 2 step. And the main difference between each of these variations is simply the beat that we take those middle steps on. Fortunately, the kun kun sound of the conga tumbao on beats 4 and 8 can tell us when to take our middle steps. So here's a tip for mastering each of those variations, starting with variation number 1, power 2. The story of the modern salsa stepping pattern pretty much began with the contratiempo footwork timing of the Cuban son. This was the original way of dancing On2 to this style of music. And, like a family tree, all the other variations of On2 descended from this one. In fact, the Power 2 pattern basically uses the same footwork timing as Contratiempo. So, like chapter 1 of a book, it makes sense to start with this pattern. After you take your outside step, your middle step will land on the first kun of those double high open conga tones like this. Pa, kum kum, pa, kum kum. That first kun sound will correspond to either beat 4 or beat 8 depending on the direction that you are moving in. In fact, it might be a good idea to practice this step until it becomes easy, especially since it's the basis for the other variations. But once you're comfortable with the power 2 timing, you might be ready for variation number 2, the syncopated 2. The only difference here is that your middle steps will now land on the second kun of that kun kun sound like this. Pa, kun kun, pa, kun kun. This second kun sound corresponds to either beat 4.5 or beat 8.5. But now, instead of trying to count out the steps, you can simply use the conga rhythm as a guide, which might be a lot easier. And if you find the information in this video helpful so far, then please be sure to click like and let me know in the comments below. Now this leads us to the third variation. Variation number 3, the New York 2. This is the On2 stepping pattern that is commonly taught around the world today, but it's not completely in sync with the conga tumbao because those middle steps land on beats 1 and 5, beats that the conga tumbao doesn't really emphasize. So what's the trick to connecting this step to the conga? Well, the trick is to take those middle steps immediately after the kun sound of the conga, like this. Pa, kun, pa, kun. And there you have the New York 2 basic step, also known as modern mambo. So no matter how you dance on 2, the outside steps always match the slap of the conga on beat 2 and beat 6. But the middle steps of the pattern can vary in relation to the double high open tones of the conga tumbao. So if you let the slap and the kun sounds of the conga tumbao guide your steps, instead of trying to count it all out in your head, it might make things a lot easier. We've just considered 3 keys for unlocking the secrets of the basic On2 salsa stepping pattern, but the 4th key here is the most important of all. Key number 4, practice, practice, practice. Maybe you'll only use one of these variations on the dance floor, such as the New York 2. But once you learn to switch between these different variations of On2 timing by playing around with the conga tumbao sounds while dancing, then, like a musician, you'll be more connected to the music. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe out there, stay connected to the music, and above all, keep dancing salsa.